But at what point, you said it was 4 to 6 months ago when the Win reached out to you.
Right.
Is that kind of when Casino Comp Wallet, which is what your handle is, right?
Right.
That's what you use on Instagram at least.
Right.
I probably reached out to you a few months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, because I was taken by your videos. I thought it was insightful.
Thank you.
I guess the question would be, where are you getting your information? Because some of it, no offense, is not garbage, but it's like exaggerated or some of it you're probably getting direct from.
But I'm absolutely willing to have the conversation on every single video that you feel is garbage. And
I didn't say garbage, maybe exaggerated.
Which one?
Like, where are you getting your financials from? Like, how much a casino might need to break even on a day? Is that just you?
Okay, let me tell you where I got that number from. Are you talking about the Fountain?
Okay. Well, no, you did it for the Win. You did it for the Sphere.
Well, Win, what's interesting about I'm glad we're having this conversation. For the Win, it's completely granular. Every single number and every single dollar they make is right on Win Corporate. Anybody can go in there. They can see the exact numbers. I know that the Win gross is $6.2 million a day. I know that the casino nets $3 million.
That's an average, right?
That's the average gross is $6.2 million a day. If you take the quarter. Yesterday, I was at the Win Field Club, and a Win executive says to me, what do you think our EBITDA is going to be this year? I said 900 to 950 million. I said, you might hit $1 billion. I'm not sure. Because those numbers are actually in there. And they're
this year being 2024.
2023, their EBITDA was between, the financials are not out for the year.
Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to clarify your question. Sure. The question he asked you was, what do you think is going to be for this year, meaning?
2023.
Oh, for last year.
Yeah, it's probably around 950 million. But I know that because, and I really feel this should be the law, and it's the law in almost every state except for Las Vegas. I really feel that the granular numbers, like the Win, Steve Win, this is who he was, although someone disagrees with me and says that's not why it happened, but whatever. Those numbers are exactly in Win Corporate. So if you go to Win Corporate and you take a look at the exact amount of money that they won there, and then you take the amount of money that they're reporting to the Gaming Commission, you can then interpolate exactly what their daily comps are. In other words, like I know Win's comps are $1.1 to $1.2 million a day because they're paying tax on the net casino winnings. Yeah. They take out the comp stuff. I think it's fantastic that I have the ability to see that with the Win. Anything else? If you want to talk about, go ahead.
Are you a banker? What's your education that gives you the? What did you do back home? You said you did phones.
There are people who are born genetically superior with numbers, and my head is just full of these numbers. I don't use the word superior. I can't speak a language. If you put me in Japan, if you put me in Spain, if you put me in Germany, I'll never execute over there because I cannot do languages. But numbers, especially, you have to understand that whatever numbers I read, it's doing something for me. So I'm motivated to read those numbers.
So now, you didn't go to business school? You didn't do...
I went to Hofstra University. I studied business there.
Okay.
But education is not everything. There are people who can play the piano when they're 6, 7, 8 years old. But I'm not trying to tout my own horn. I'm really not.
I know.
If you question me, if you want to say to me, what exactly are you saying that you think is garbage? And then I'll address it to you.
I didn't mean to say garbage. I just meant exaggerated. Like
tell me.
Okay, what does the Sphere need to break even on a day?
I went in and I read the financials. MSG Sphere has its financials there. And last quarter, their operating costs were $87 million.
But there was pre-opening expenses in there.
No, I'm talking about their operational costs. They estimate them to be $87 million. All the data is there. If you actually, a public company is very easy. One of my chagrins, maybe that's not the right word, but one of the things that bothers me is there's so few public companies in Las Vegas, and then the two public companies, the two main ones, Caesars and MGM, they're not
blended.
They're not breaking anything out anymore. It's all blended. But for instance, last quarter the EBITDA at Caesars was 72.
What are you saying? I think you're meaning to say EBITDA.
EBITDA.
Okay.
The last quarter the EBITDA at Caesars was $72 million, right? I had a look in there and I said to myself, wow, it went up a lot last quarter. Now, I'm not talking about fourth quarter. I'm talking about third quarter. It went up a lot. I get down to page 47. They cut advertising expense by $47 million.
Right.
It's right there. So I know that their EBITDA actually was down.
And you're saying this for Caesars, the whole corporate company?
They cut their advertising expense by $47
No, I know, but when
million.
You say it was 72
the whole
million.
corporate company. And I'm assuming, now I can't say this conclusively, that they cut way back on their online spending, their online advertising spending.
Right.
So that's why their EBITDA went up to $72 million. So if I'm talking about a public company, I've actually done the reading. I've actually gone and gotten the numbers.
Okay.
If I'm talking about just extrapolating the Fontainebleau...
no. So, for example, you often would go out and say, what are dealers are making on tips? Is that from a tip from somebody telling you that, or is that you estimating that?
No, I met with the dealers.
Okay,
I met with two dealers at the Venetian.
I think that's what I was trying to understand. Are you reading this, guessing this, extrapolating this, or are you talking to people that are giving this information?
Guessing. The amount of information that is delivered to me on a daily basis is so extraordinary it would blow your mind. That being said, I have to assume that all of it is BS. So until I hear something, my rule in my head is until I hear it from 3 people, I don't even really start to investigate it. So I heard from 3 people about the fact that there was a ridiculously amount of large tipping going on at the Wynn, and that they made, I think it was $2,000 for the night, the particular dealers there. And from there, I found out that the Wynn and the Encore don't necessarily pool tips. Like they pool them separately. You just get a tremendous amount of information. The Venetian numbers was 2 dealers I spoke to, because the dealers scream out Vegas Pauly C when I go by. So, of course, I walk over and I talk to them. Now, I have to be very careful now, because when I talk to employees, I have to be very careful not to show their face, because I've gotten people in trouble. Of course. And I don't want to get people in trouble.
We're gonna come to that in a bit. We're gonna come to that. But it's evident that you've become a mainstay of this city in terms of some of the other Instagram, Twitter, social media accounts that are getting engagement from CEOs like myself. The others are inviting you to places. I got you at the Raider game yesterday. I see you in the booth with the chain smokers on New Year's Eve. And it's not because you're
it's a blessing.
Nice guy. It's because obviously you are a nice guy, by the way.
Thank you very much.
But I was at one of my kids' events the other day, and one of the other parents said to me, "Hey, what do you do?" I told him I work at the Plaza. He said, "What do you do on New Year's Eve?" I said, "It was Oscars." He goes, "Oh, this guy that I love on Instagram, his name's Pauly C, was at Oscars. He was with the mayor on New Year's Eve." I was like, "Yeah, funny you should tell me that. I know that part."
You're the one who facilitated it.
But you are clearly making a name for yourself, where other CEOs, other business people, other influencers are taking note of what you're doing, and that's how you're ending up at all these events and getting access to more information.
It's important that people realize, though, that this was something I always did. And it's just an organic outcome of who I am as a person, because I love this stuff. I'm like waiting on the last day of the month. I'm waiting for the Las Vegas Visitor Authority numbers. I'm waiting for that. For some reason, I think, this is what happened. The numbers for F1, right, the actual numbers from the Nevada Gaming Commission, Nevada, I always say that wrong, the Nevada Gaming Commission, they came out on the 30th, and my girlfriend was here. So I missed that day. It was a Friday. And on the 31st, it was New Year's Eve. I said, oh, my goodness. The numbers came out yesterday, and I didn't even notice it, but neither did anybody in the news media. I immediately went into the Nevada Gaming Commission numbers, and it was so apparent that the only thing that was different for F1 was table games on the Strip, $155 million increase. It was so easy to read, and anybody can go to the Nevada Gaming Commission and can see this. So, boom, there's my video. It took me all of 5 minutes.
Right.
But the point is that on New Year's Eve, I'm not thinking about the fact that Mahi's in the cutest little dress or that I'm going to Oscars. I'm thinking, I missed those Nevada numbers yesterday. I got to get those numbers. It's not a strain for me. It's not something that I don't want. I'm so excited about it.
And just because you mentioned F1, where do you stand on that? What's your...
It's interesting because yesterday I read an article about companies in the area that were under the bridges and around the corner and then in the way of F1, and they're actually suing now, or they're planning to sue. They're bringing a class action lawsuit.
Did you see the letter from Ferraro's that they wrote?
I did not see the letter. I'm just starting to investigate this.
Okay.
And I was going to go down there and do a piece on that, but then I got all caught up today because I'm here when I'm in this is exactly where Las Vegas began. This is the corner of Fremont Street and Main Street. So I was working on a historical piece downstairs. And what happens is when I find something that really interests me, which is this place, I lost track of what's happening for the F1. But I understand that guy said that his business was grossing $8 million. He got cut to $4 million.
Right.
There were clear losers from the F1, people who maybe have been wiped out, people who lost their job. It's unfortunate. I feel terrible about it.
It's there was, I guess, to say there's clear losers, I think it's clear there was more than that. There was just clear winners, pardon the pun.
Clear winners and clear losers. I feel that it exacerbated that great divide in America between the haves and the have-nots, unfortunately. Yeah. That's never a good thing to do.
Yeah. What was the historic piece you're working on?
The train station right here. And the original auction taking place just east on May 15th, 2005. And the fact that 3 lots across the street were $1,750 each. Those were the most expensive lots underneath the Circa. Stuff like that. Like the whole thing. I'm writing up the whole piece.
So, Gary, you might be wondering, how did I come across Pauly C? And I slid into his DMs because people were sending me his articles. He did a piece about downtown. You did a piece about the Tony Hsieh portfolio, and one of the pieces selling in a
$14.6 million.
Perhaps underhanded manner, although they'll tell you it wasn't. I'm fairly familiar with all of that. But he did that piece, did a couple of other pieces about downtown. So I just, like I do with a lot of people, I just reached out to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I know you. I'd love to meet up." So we met up at the Carousel Bar. We had a drink. He got me talking about doing 6-card Charlie,
Right.
Which I was
Which
about
I'm
to
still
do.
waiting on.
I was about to do it, and then we hired a new table games executive who was just on our podcast, and I think it was our last episode. But I want him to come to that conclusion. I think he's on board with it.
I think it'd be unbelievable, and the amount of media I'll be able to shine on this place, and the amount of content. You'll be the only casino in the country that has it that I know of.
Yeah, and look, there's that's a fun game. So I was just having a debate. Maybe you have an opinion on this. You know what? I'm going to let you make this decision.
Okay.
We're doing a coupon book with another company, and we're debating between doing match play between $10 and $50, or a 2-to-1 payout for a natural blackjack.
Up to what limit?
Up to $25. What would the customer rather have?
The first one.
Yeah, the match play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
We'll go with the match play.
Yeah.
Good call.
How would the second one work, though?
You sit down, you have a coupon, you show it to the dealer, and you play blackjack until you hit a blackjack. And the minute you hit the blackjack, you pay 2-to-1 on your first one. Then it goes back to 3.
I do this joke on my show. And
Whoa, what show?
I do a show every day, a live show. I walked 10 miles yesterday. I walked from my house all the way to Siegel's Bagel Mania.
Yeah.
I was on the live for 3 hours.
Did you eat at Siegel's Bagel Mania?
Yes, and they reached out to me.
Did you see me on the menu? I'm on the menu.
I did not see you.
I'm on the menu.
But they actually reached out to me, told me to come on Saturday. They're having a bagel eating contest or something.
Oh, yeah, they are. I can help you. I'll connect you with them.
It sounds like fantastic people.
Yeah, they are good people. They were also on our podcast, and they're our partners downstairs in Pink Box Donuts.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's really dominating the town.
Yeah.
He's doing an unbelievable job.
Yeah. So go on. So you do a show where you just
So I was
walk
doing
and
a show, and I was just to get back to your coupon book. Blackjack only occurs one out of every 20 point X number of hands, 21 hands, let's just say. Blackjack's only one out of every 21 hands. I'm really tied into the gambler's mentality, the gambler's mindset. And the reason why I gave you that answer so quick about the fact that you should do match play instead of the blackjack is because we have this joke on the show, and I hope it doesn't blow out the mic when I do it. I'll try and do it a little bit lower, but it sounds something like this: immediate gratification. And that's what gamblers want, and that's why my answer was so quick to you. Nobody really wants to wait around for a blackjack. They're going to want that free play or whatever you're giving away.
Yeah, but we can debate this again, and I've debated this for years. You can give someone immediate gratification, but you're not actually developing a lifetime customer there. You're just giving them gratification. The minute that your next door neighbor or somebody on the strip gives them gratification, they're going to leave you for that. So you're better off building a customer, doing it the right way,